This time we're going to have a look at one of the ribbing stitches, one of the most common ones, which is single crochet in the back loop only. That's US terms and is usually abbreviated to scblo. In UK terms, it will be double crochet in the back loop only. So you just start with a chain and your pattern will tell you how many to chain. And then we go into the second chain from the hook, so not this one, this one. And because we're in back loop only, I always just do the first, so just do the top loop and do your single crochet. So in, yarn over and through, and then yarn over and through both. So in, yarn over, and then yarn over both, in, yarn over and through, yarn over and through both, all the way to the end. You'll always have a turning chain on this one. Depends on your pattern. Some people chain and then turn, some people turn and then chain. I have a fun tendency to kind of do it as I go, like this. Just like, ooh, chain and turn. It doesn't matter. So this is, next row is where it gets a little bit different. So normally when we look at our crochet, we go into this loop here, okay, for our first stitch. But we're doing back loop only, so we're going to go into this one. So rather than going in here, we're going to go in here, okay? And then it's still the same, you're still doing single crochet, so yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over through both. So always into just the back loop. Okay, there are other stitches where you'll just go into the back loop only, and usually because you're trying to make a ridge of some kind. Like I say, this is a rib stitch, so what we're getting here is a raised ridge. So that's quite often why back loop only stitches happen. Sometimes you'll get some that are in the third loop, but we won't worry about that in this video because I don't want to confuse you. So I've got to the end, so don't forget your turning chain. Okay, don't get confused when you turn. This is not a stitch. All right, if you're not sure, look at the side and think, well, that's where I would go, but I'm going into the back loop of it. Okay, so always in, yarn over and through, and then through your 2 stitches. Obviously, if you've got this far, you're probably already pretty confident with your single crochet if you're up to ribbing, unless you're an adventurous beginner and you started with, for example, a jumper pattern. So ribbing like this would normally be for the bottom hem of a jumper. Possibly, that's my dog having a drink in the background. I would start again, but I'm already on a reshoot because he started barking in the last video. There we go. So you can see you've got your ridge here, and if I turn over, ooh, do that again, I've got it on both sides. All right, so this would be, you'd have it this way, would be your ribbing along the bottom of a jumper, for example, and then you usually work back along the top edge and then up for the body of your jumper. For a neckline, it's usually worked slightly differently because that's worked from the body and then out. I'll do that in a separate video. For sleeve cuffs, it depends whether you're working the sleeves first and then sewing them on, in which case you do this bit, or if you're starting from the shoulder of the jumper and working down, in which case it would be the same as the neckline. It's not massively dissimilar, it's just a question of how you join at the bottom. So yeah, I'll do you one more row. Don't forget your turning chain, and then we go into the back loop and just do your stitch as normal. Okay, the good thing with a rib stitch is that it's a little bit stretchy, because obviously if you've ever made a jumper before, that's what you get at the bottom, is your hem is always a little bit tighter than the body, just to give it a bit of shape. And obviously, so it does, you can't really tell when I've only made a little one, but if you do a longer one and you measure it, you do get quite a bit of stretch on some of them. And again, different designers use different ribbing stitches, but this is the most basic one. And that's all you do. You just keep going. Enjoy.